To register your study in ClinicalTrials.gov, you can get to the Regard website. Once you are in regard.org, go to the Frequently Asked Questions. And there is your question: what is ClinicalTrials.gov and do I need to register my study? Click in Submit Studies. To be able to submit your study, you need to have an account in the Protocol Registration and Results System. To get an account in the Protocol Registration and Results System, the administrator of your institution will provide you that account. If you don't know who is the administrator of your institution, click in How to Apply for an Account. In there, you can find the list of organizations with a PRS account. You can find your organization, and you can also submit a request for administrator contact. Once you fill out this request, you will receive an email with your administrator contact information that will allow you to request an account in the PRS system. Once you have your account available, you're going to log in into the Protocol Registration and Results System. You will enter your organization one-word name, and all this information is going to be provided with your login information, your username and password. Once you have logged in, you will be able to see your dashboard. It will show you all the records that you have available, any records that you could have a problem with it, and you can filter to find your record. If you're looking to create a new record, you can use the quick link New Record, or you can go into Records and click New Record. The first part of Create a New Record is to assign in your organization unique protocol ID. Commonly, is used your IRB number. You're going to add a brief title of the study, the acronym if necessary, and the type of studies. Please note that fields marked with a star means required, and fields marked with a star and a double S number are required only if the study is entered on or after January 2017. Every field in the system contains the definition. So if you don't know what your brief title should be, you can open on the definitions and we'll explain you what to enter in each one of the fields. For this purpose, we're gonna call this study. We're gonna say that it's an interventional study, and we're gonna click Continue. Depending on the type of study that you'll select will be the fields that appear in the system. A pop-up will come up that will tell you what are the sections that you'll need to enter for each protocol registration. Please note that to enter your study, you need to have available your protocol, your study timelines, and the contact of the persons that will be doing the study. And that means all the sites and locations that will be participating in the study, all the principal investigators, co-investigators in the study, the IRB information, and the WHO study officials. And the system has automatic validations. Errors in the system will not allow your study to move forward. The next screen asks for your study status. The record verification date field is the date that you are entering or reviewing the information in the system. The overall status is the status of the study currently. The study start date could be either anticipated or actual if your study has not started, and it refers to the first patient that signed consent for the study. If the date is anticipated, you only need to enter a month and a year. If the date will be actual, meaning that has already passed, you will have to enter a month, a day, and a year. The primary completion date refers to the final collection date for the primary outcome measure. And for studies in which the primary outcome measure happens at the same time as the final data collection for the study, the primary completion date and the study completion date will be the same date. Those dates could be also anticipated or actual. The responsible party is who is responsible for entering the information of the study in ClinicalTrials.gov. It could be the sponsor, it could be this principal investigator if delegated by the sponsor, or it could be the sponsor investigator who is conducting the study. Select the study investigator or sponsor investigator or sponsor conducting the study and add the investigator official title. Include the investigator affiliation and any collaborators that could be working with the principal investigator. The next screen will ask you for oversight. Is this a study for using a drug, a device? Does it have an IND, IDE? What is the status of your Human Protection Board? Does it have a data monitoring committee? And it's an FDA regulated intervention. These fields are used also to determine if there's an applicable trial and what rules will be this study following regarding registration and result submission. In these sections, you will be asked to enter a brief summary of the study and a detailed description of the study as well. The conditions or focus of the study, and it has to be a condition that is included in the MESH dictionary. And you can add keywords that will help the participants and investigators and outside institutions to find your study. Because this study type is interventional, it will ask us what is the primary purpose of the study, if it's treatment, prevention, diagnosis, and so on. It will ask us for the study phase, and this will only apply if there's a study that uses a drug or devices. It will ask you what is the model of their study, if it's a single group, if it's a parallel group, if it's a crossover. It will ask you for the number of arms, and how is your study mask. It will ask for your allocation and the number of patients that you plan to put in your study. At this point, you will provide the anticipated number of participants or subjects in your study. And once your study has completed, you'll come back to this section and tell ClinicalTrials.gov how many subjects you enrolled in your study. You're going to enter your arm titles. We said in the previous screen that you had 2 arms. Let's say that you have one arm that is a drug arm. So that's your experimental arm. And let's say you have another arm that is your placebo arm. So that is your placebo comparator. If you had more than 2 arms in the study, you can add an arm. And it populated 2 arms because that's what we say, that we have 2 groups in a parallel study. You're going to describe now your interventions. So we say this is a drug study, so we're going to describe the drug. You're going to enter the name of your drug. You're going to enter, let's say if you have a drug that have a generic and a brand name, you'll enter the brand and generic name and the description of the intervention. And then they're going to ask you to cross-reference it, tell you which arm is having which intervention. Now we come to your outcome measures. And for each outcome measure, you will need a title, a description, and the time frame in which you're measuring the outcome measure. Normally, you'll have a primary outcome and multiple secondary outcomes. Make sure that you're entering all your outcome measures that your protocol describes. And if there's a change in your protocol, you will need to go back and update your outcome measures as well. The next place is to edit your eligibility. You're going to enter all your inclusion-exclusion criteria in the study. You're going to enter your age limits if you have any. And you're going to let them know if you have accept healthy volunteers or not. Include your inclusion-exclusion criteria in the format provided. Keep in mind that this is going to be shown to the participants or to the potential participants in the ClinicalTrials.gov website. This section will ask you for your contact and locations. And you need to add your study officials as well. Your study officials could be the study chair, the study director, or the study principal investigator. We get a warning in this one because we didn't enter the central contact backup. Warnings can be overreading, but they are created for a reason, so do not dismiss them. It's going to ask you if you plan to share individual participant data. It's going to ask you for any citations or links related to data already published with this study or previous similar studies. And now we have finished the protocol entry with the wizard. We have not entered certain data, so we can see the errors and warnings that are created by the system. So this is what you're going to get once you have completed your wizard. In order to complete your registration, your errors and notes and warnings need to be completed. Once you have completed all notes, corrected all errors, and corrected all warnings, your record should look like this with all green check marks to allow you to complete and release your study. From here, the principal investigator should approve and release your record. Once you have released your record, ClinicalTrials.gov will complete what is called a PRS review. And after the PRS review is completed, which normally takes 5 to 7 days, you will receive an NCT number and your trial will be registered.